Hey guys, Auspicious Aussie here, and welcome to another preview slash prediction video for AEW Dynamite. This is essentially week 4, and it is of course my 4th video. But this week it's a little bit interesting because there's actually been another match just recently scheduled today, which is essentially a day before. Not even a day. I think we're about 12, maybe 14 hours away from the TV show itself, and a match has just been announced. Now, I'm going to go into that match first of all. It is going to be Kenny Omega versus Joey Janela. Now, this match was, I think, on AEW Dark, the sort of B show, dark matches that happened before Dynamite or after Dynamite. Yeah. Basically, they had an unsanctioned match, which was pretty incredible, actually, especially for a non-televised show. Honestly, I did watch the match. I mean, I've watched every minute of AEW so far, and I'd have to say that match was probably up there. It might not have been their best match of the company so far, but I rated it. I rated it very highly. Obviously, it had a lot of hardcore sort of aspects to it. I think this will actually be a regular singles match. And obviously, Kenny Omega, he won the unsanctioned match. I can only really see him winning again in this actual televised match. I don't think it'll kick off the show, but I'm only putting it first here in my predictions purely for the fact that it is sort of a last-minute announcement. I think the match that was supposed to be on Dynamite, I think, was Janela versus... I've forgotten who it was. But he was taking on someone else, and then I guess they said on Twitter that it was due to sort of a fan interest in their match on Dark. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on to the next match I'm going to cover, and that'll be Britt Baker versus Jamie Hayter. Now, Britt Baker is from Pittsburgh. It's a hometown or home city, whatever you want to call it. Obviously, I think she'll be getting the victory. Jamie Hayter, don't really know a lot about her. She's from the UK, or she wrestles in the UK, primarily, I think. She'll be making her debut. Am I looking forward to it? Not really. I feel like Britt Baker's still very rough. I don't think she's polished, and I didn't really enjoy the match between her and Riho. I thought it was a little bit sloppy at times. It had a nice finish towards the end, but like the first 2 or 3 minutes of the match was almost hard to watch. Like I said, just a bit sloppy. Hopefully, she'll have a better match here, and I like I said, I do think she'll get the victory. Britsburg is the whole gimmick they're going with due to her being in her hometown. Then we're going to go with the Young Bucks. Now, they're in action. They will be versing Best Friends as it stands currently. Don't think that's probably going to change, which is interesting because obviously Best Friends were knocked out last week as well as the Young Bucks. So, 2 tag teams that are knocked out will be wrestling each other. Not much to really say here. I think the Young Bucks pretty much have to win. They're looking a little bit weak, sort of, after last week. Especially on Dark, Excalibur was putting over the fact that Private Party were ranked 8th, even though I think there was, only 7 teams involved in the tournament. Yeah, he was saying they were the lowest ranked tag team, and that the Young Bucks were the first or the highest rank, and therefore they pulled off a massive upset, which they did, and it was unexpected. But I just think the Young Bucks, they have to get a win. Sort of, you would feel that the Young Bucks will probably be the first storyline, at least, for the new tag team champions after the tournament. Anyway, moving on to the 2 tournament matches, the semifinals. We've got Private Party versus the Lucha Brothers, or Lucha Bros. This one, I feel like both of these, in my head, both of these semifinals are very straightforward with what has sort of transpired. In my mind, Lucha Brothers going to beat Private Party, and I only say that because of what happened last week with SCU and Christopher Daniels. Of course, he got pile driven on the steel ramp, was very heavily sold as sort of like a neck injury, and obviously Scorpio Sky was put into the match. Boy, did he get over in that match. That was incredible. I would say if he can sort of maintain this momentum, I wouldn't be surprised if he's elevated somewhat into the main event at some stage and possibly getting a world title shot in the future. But anyway, like I said, Lucha Bros, they did that. I think in the other semi-final, which I'll talk about now, we've got SCU taking on the Dark Order. I don't see the Dark Order winning. They had a video package on Dark. Probably the only thing that I could think of. You know, they're trying to get them over. I don't think the fans are really that receptive to them. It's kind of it's a weird gimmick to have on television for sort of, if you want to interest the mainstream viewer. I don't think Dark Order is going to do it. I just don't think it's going to get over. And obviously, SCU, like I said, they're hot at the moment. I mean, their promo they cut after... I saw it on Dark. It was incredible as well. They both cut a really emotional promo about Daniels. So I think SCU will get the victory in this other semi-final. And then obviously that'll set up Lucha Bros versus SCU in the final. And I think that would be a pretty interesting final. And obviously, you know, either of those teams can win the tag titles, and the tag titles would obviously mean something, and they'd be quite prestigious as well with either of those teams winning. Now, the final match we've got to talk about, probably going to be the main event, you would think. Pac versus Jon Moxley. It's an interesting match. I would say you would think that Moxley would win, but again, I think it's going to be one of these things where Kenny Omega gets involved, Hangman Page gets involved, you know, in regards to continuing the feud that he's got with Pac at the moment. Puck. I think storylines are going to collide in this main event, and will we have a clear winner? Possibly. I think if you gave it to Moxley, you would continue his sort of hot streak. Although Pac did lose. He took the pinfall for the tag match last week where Moxley walked out on him, so it could be interesting. I think it'll be a pretty good match nonetheless. I mean, Moxley's... I don't rate him as a really good wrestler, but he is able to to tell somewhat of a good story in the ring, which I guess is pretty important anyway. Obviously, Pac, you know what he's about. Incredible wrestling ability. Yeah, anyway. Also, one more thing to note is I think Cody is going to be doing a promo where he's going to be speaking about Jericho and the whole match at Full Gear. So, obviously not going to throw that in there because it's not an actual match, but I think that'll be pretty interesting as well. Possibly might even be the final segment of the show. I think that's a possibility. Either way, I think this is a really good Dynamite. 3 tag matches might be a little bit too much, but there's also going to be 3 singles matches in there as well. And we got the 2 semi-final matches, which I think both matches will be pretty good. I'm expecting Private Party versus Lucha Bros to be, I would say, match of the night, to be honest. I don't think Omega versus Janela can top what happened on Dark, because that match was really, really good. Anyway, those are my predictions and my preview of Week 4, 23rd of October. If you guys enjoy, make sure you drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as well, and as always, take it easy and goodbye.